Oh, yeah. Yeah, they work from the Revolutionary War up. We won't be that. We can.
You sure? Because I mean, this stuff doesn't have to be out.
Okay, watch some things I can set.
One thing to know.
Okay, so I can put a lot in there.
Well, not even a lot, but I can get back.
I just thought it could be.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We wouldn't do this outside, but back to.
Well, my name is Frank Maxwell. I represent a private from the 4th New York Regiment, which is basically up the Hudson River of New York State. I basically got involved in reenacting just about 3 or 4 years ago through my brother Larry Maxwell, who's portraying a loyalist commander today. And basically, the way I got involved was he said, oh, would you like to come watch a reenactment with me? I said, yeah, sure, why not? Thinking that I would go there to watch. 2 days prior to that, he calls me up and says, what's your pants inseam and your waist size, your shirt size? Not even thinking what I was going to be doing. So he said, well, the only way you get involved, if you truly are interested, is that you come in period clothing. So that's what I did, and here I am 4 years later. Today, I'm here with my fellow privates here, just giving a little history of like what it was like to be a private in the Revolutionary War.
I'm Hugh Francis, and today I'm portraying General George Washington, Commander-in-Chief of the Forces of the United States in their quest to free the country from England. Today we're down here in this particular location because we have not done particularly well in the Battle of New York and Long Island, and I'm trying to hold the Army together in an effort to find a more favorable ground where we can engage them on terms that I would feel we have an opportunity to win. We have gone through Kips Bay, we've had other areas. We're now going to retreat very slowly up until we come to Chatterton Hill, which will be the White Plains, the famous Battle of White Plains. At that particular point, the United States Army is forced to either make a good showing or the troops will never ever have an opportunity again. We're stopping here, delaying action, and we're going to continue on when we get to White Plains. At that point, I feel that we can show His Majesty's forces that we are something to be reckoned with. Thank you.
But by then, like I said, guys are wearing trousers, but you see how tight they fit. But so you have, everybody wears a shirt, and then this is called a waistcoat. You don't go out with just your shirt on. That would be immodest. So everybody wears some type of a vest. So you have basically these small clothes, pants, shirt, the waistcoat. Then it's a question of how do you tell each other apart. And if you notice, with even with Steven down there, who's wearing the gray coat, he has the white clothes on. You can just put the coat on, and then you're a different side.
Leo, you guys pivot around me. Now the team doing this is, yeah, so everybody does this. feet together and you move. You know? So go back. Keep the shoulder. Okay. Left wheel. Oh.
Okay, we're here today for the to show historically the different types of forces that were present here in the Mamaroneck area during the Revolutionary War. And down the field there you have your Continentals. Those are the rebels. We are here today portraying your Crown forces, the people who are loyal to their country. We're the ones that are the real patriots. That's the correct way to refer to us as. And over here we have Zebulon, and he is a regular British soldier. He comes over from, had joined before the war, and that's why he's wearing the red coat, the standard breeches and waistcoat, and the uniform there. He also has the state-of-the-art weapon for the Revolutionary War. Most of the Continentals never received those. That's the second model Brown Bess. And then I am dressed today as an NCO or a sergeant for someone from Mahopek, or not Mahopek, from Mamaroneck down here, or Mahopek or any of those areas, that is faithful to their country. We are called loyalists. So I am dressed up as a loyalist today. Loyalists, again, we're very similar uniform, except we have the green coats with the white facing, and then the RP on them. You'll notice there's a crown on the button if you looked at it closely, and then it says RP, which stands for Royal Provincials. We are the people who were faithful to our country. We fly the King's colors, which are a little further over there, with the cross of St. George and St. Andrew on it. And then, like I said, the other people today are the rebels. They're the Continentals. They're the people who would not stay loyal to their country. Now, when you serve as a Continental, you have the possibility of being a regular soldier or a militia. On the Crown Forces side, in a sense, as a militia, I'm portraying more or less the militia for the Crown Forces side, because we are dressed in we're issued a uniform, whereas the Continentals are not issued a uniform when they're on the side of their country. They just come in their clothes. But the King takes care of you. He gives you, if you're a regular soldier, a regular uniform, or if you're going to be in the militia and be a loyalist, you'll end up with one of these green coats faced in white. And then I'm carrying a halberd here. This is also a sign of an officer, or actually an NCO. We refer to NCOs as officers. So a lot of people don't realize that later. That is not correct in military terminology. But we use these to show rank and then to help the men keep in line. And if somebody tries to turn tail and run, we use that also. It's a carryover from the Middle Ages and keeps on till about the Napoleonic Wars. So we're glad to be here today, and we're going to be demonstrating different things of the colonial life and the life of a soldier while we're here.
Cartridge like this, all in one barrel. So we don't use the bullets because we're not going to kill anyone, you know. But in reenacting, what we do is we have the same cartridge that they have with the gunpowder, and what we would do is we can't shoot it where they are, but put the cartridge in, and it goes in like this. This goes to full cock like that. That drives the powder.
How did you
out.
aim it? What was your aiming device? Just your eye, or did you line it up or something?
This is not a sight.
Yeah.
That he just pointed.
It's not a sight?
Nope. Muskets did not have a sight. This is the main purpose for this was for a bayonet.
Oh, I know
Those guys have bayonet. But because I have a French musket, this particular musket did not come with a bayonet that fixed onto the lug of the gun. I had a bayonet plug plugged into the barrel itself. That's what it's for. You could use it as a sight, but these guns were not accurate.
How about the range of that? What's the range?
Probably maybe like 50,
George.
60 yards. Like
Wow.
that.
Yeah, but do you have any
Oh,
regular schedule?
Right? I don't know. I just think that part.
Oh, look, there are some of them flying right now. Look.
You guys see? Did you see?
We have to do something.
Wasn't it?
What?
Hey, did you see the fire?
Yeah, get a goose or something for us, okay? Fire! Okay. Comes the prime load. Now, let me see. You notice this gun is not. Fire.
Alright.
Then you take the Some people got sick. They got because the germ warfare was used at that time too, and smallpox was used as a weapon. A lot of people died from that. But from the actual battles themselves, less than 5,000 casualties for the entire war for the Continental. Whereas at Gettysburg had taken charge in less than an hour, 20,000 died. So if you notice, by the way, I had someone on my hand, someone said, it's you actually get used to eating it. It's just saltpeter. It's nothing that's going to really hurt you, unless you shot you with. So it washes off very easily. Doesn't taste that good. Yes, that's afterwards. Yes, wounds. Medicine was terrible back then. Nobody knew anything about the infections. Anyone know where the major hospital was for the Continental Army? Main hospital. You got wounded we sent to Fishkill. You ever been up to Fishkill where the wall used to be, but now there's a Home Depot there next to 84? And right now, in fact, you may want to look. I'm not sure what the website is, but during the whole war, that was the field hospital,
Right
and
about
the
face.
mission center for the whole war, because this area is under occupation. This area here, I mean, here's the main road. You can't use this. During the Revolutionary War, you cannot use this. So I think you can use off the state, and you cross Newburgh, and you go to this hill, then you go to Patterson, then you go over. So everything really left there is war. So Fishkill became the main place. And right now, there's just like 80 acres left of the original encampment, and they want to put a wall there. So what we're asking is that the state would do an archaeological evaluation for the state. Because for people in here for 8 years, there's a lot of evidence. There's nothing to commemorate, which is sad. So we're losing a lot of our original battlefield.
How many British troops died?
That was a lot more. But that died. That's casualty. Died. A lot of people got sick after that. Now I had a great grandfather who lived in Naples, and he was down the Ward House. And the British surrounded the house. You got put in stocks. There was not. That's a misrepresentation. As a disinfectant? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's why the rest of the world does it too a lot of times.
They said, dead or out, they don't know in the ocean. And they drank a
The guy next to you is doing a lot. That's good.
Yeah, that's misrepresentation. Mixed with water. No, it's amazing to hear workers. And when I teach teachers or teach educators, I say, first of all, don't believe everything you see. A lot of marbles on it. And number one, don't believe everything you see. And so I was in this advisory area, and still, the rest of the people, what they want to do, and they portray. Like during the Revolutionary War, when the Sullivan campaign, Indians were involved, they were fighting the Adirondacks. Almost all of your British were dressed like are either in green coats, white, or green coats with the red. There's no red coats up there. So when we were filming that, we had men in green coats and red, and the director said, that'll confuse everyone. This is history guy. He said, that'll confuse everybody. So we're going to put red coats in. So it was like, now wait a minute. I said, is this the History Channel you're doing it for? And or Nickelodeon. So many things that go on the History Channel. And finally, I went to the producer, who's won 13 Emmys. So you say, oh wow, he's really good. You know? Yeah, no. Remember, Emmys and Grammys and all those things are voted by their.
Fire!
A lot of times you can't.
Everybody, we're gonna go inside. Bye, everybody. Battle, so
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you on this very inclement afternoon to the 230th anniversary of the skirmish of Heathcote Hill that was fought right here in Mamaroneck, which was part of a pincer movement which saved the American colonies in the Revolutionary War. Moving of a volume of 14,000 men across the King's Bridge, up the Bronx River Valley, to try to escape to a place where there was good, secure ground. Good ground to fight a battle. Good ground to secure your liberty. That place was White Plains, New York. Everything in between the Battle of Long Island and the struggle at White Plains was a pivotal point in our history. And we're here today to mark that point in Mamaroneck's piece in that engagement. The fate of unborn millions will depend on the fate and courage of this army. We therefore resolve to conquer it or die.
I don't think there's ever been anybody as well versed in the general history of the town as Donald. I don't want to say much at all. I just want to thank everybody for being here, and I want to say it's been a great pleasure for me because having spoken to the, quote, reenactors, I've learned a lot. You can learn a lot from a good teacher. And all the people I spoke to, including General Washington and our commander over here from the British forces and the lesser soldiers, I don't know what their ranks are, they seem very well schooled in whatever they're supposed to, whatever role they're playing, put it that way.
Our Village of Mamaroneck Historical Society is, with Donald at the helm, is very detail-oriented. I had the pleasure of knowing Donald for some 23 years now. And, you know, the Rose Garden, the Star Garden outside. Donald doesn't leave one I undotted or one T uncrossed. And along with Leo Spinelli and Gene Warrington and Peter LaPrey back there, you guys do a great job. And for the kids that are here today, there's no better education than a living education, one that can talk back to you and breathe with you, and you get to find out really what happened a stone's throw away from here. Again, I'd just like to congratulate the Village of Mamaroneck Historical Society. Everyone who volunteers for your community does it for the benefit of the children, the way that George Washington and his troops fought for the benefit of future children. Thank you, Don.
The primary purpose in going up to White Plains was to unify the Army, collect them, and get them to come into an area where we could all work together. I could sort out the issues of command, which was quite fractured and varied among the various units I had. I could have an opportunity to breathe, and most of important, I had to have an opportunity to show the British that we were a fighting force. Not a ragtag army on a retreat, but a fighting force seeking a proper place to do the proper thing. What little there is about 18th century warfare that the British had learned, very little of it was against an army such as they faced with us. They didn't know what we were going to do because we didn't know what we were going to do. And they were looking for classic answers to this, classic answers to that. So all we had to do was slow down the advance till I could get to a place where I could wage battle on the terms most favorable to the army that I had to work with at that time. That place was Chatterton Hill in White Plains. And we did not defeat the British Army in Chatterton Hill, but we showed them that they had a foe, an awesome foe to deal with. We delayed their advance and caused them to do major rethinking. I don't want to dwell into the individual details of that particular battle or other things, but I'd like to point out that all of the issues along the way from Long Island, where my very close associate, John Glover, was instrumental in getting what was left of my army off Long Island, up until the same Marbleheaders stopped in the Battle of Pell's Point. 750 of them stopped 4,000 Hessian troops. Little things like this, they build up here. We had the Queen's Rangers, which were an awesome group of loyalists. Very strong. One of probably the best trained of the loyalist units. And they were essentially shown the short side of the stick here in Mamaroneck. As we got on, we had more time to gather our forces, to plan for future engagements, and to determine whether people, the officers and such that I had under my command would stay where they were, would be advanced, would be transferred, and give inspiration to all the troops. I thank you for your attention.
Now I'd like to introduce you to my Executive Vice President and partner in crime, John Lazita.
I'll keep it brief. I want to thank everyone for coming out today. With all the weather issues, I'm actually very glad that we didn't cancel this because it shows, I think, the true believers in the cause here. The one thing that's interesting about the battle that happened in Mamaroneck, and Donald and the General really went into the strategic details, but the thing that interests me the most, being a military historian, is the fact that it's the first time really in New York that that General Washington decides to go on the offense. And he doesn't go on the offense against a weak British force. He goes after the best force that they have. And he goes at nighttime when they're not looking. And that's how you have to, fight a war like that. And that's how you have to remember history too. You have to save history in ways that people don't think, to keep it fresh. And that's what we're trying to do here. So remember, if nothing else, about the Battle of Heathcote Hill and the skirmish of Mamaroneck, it's a time when General Washington thought out of the box. And that's what we have to do to save history. So I want to thank you all for coming again. And it looks like the weather's clearing, so we'll be able to go back outside, hopefully. Thanks again. And I want to thank the Living History Guild and General Washington for coming.